Hey everyone. Welcome back to my channel. In this video I will be going over all of the newest stimulus check updates and news reports. President Trump has been urging Congress to go big or go home on a second stimulus bill. Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin told reporters that the chances of getting a stimulus bill approved before the election is not likely to happen. As a result, the stock market has taken a hit. And according to Fox News, new presidential polls in key battlegrounds raise concerns for President Trump. The Democrats are also preparing to push Speaker Pelosi to accept and pass the $1.8 trillion stimulus bill. With all of this news, when exactly will you receive your second stimulus check? To find out, be sure to subscribe to my channel and click the bell. And let's get this video to 5,000 likes if you believe that Congress should pass a second stimulus bill. Now, a small but group of Democrats across the party spectrum are preparing to push Speaker Pelosi to approve the $1.8 trillion economic stimulus plan, proposed by Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin. Several Democrats have cited escalating concerns about unemployment and ongoing struggles of Americans. Members of the Democratic Party, such as Representative Abigail N. Welch, have privately discussed their desires for the California leader to accept the deal put before them and are now ready to make those pleas public. While many Democrats are happy to back Pelosi's position, those angling for a faster alternative are hoping to create a pressure campaign within the caucus. Welch has consistently pushed to come to a deal as soon as possible as long as it moves us forward in trying to address the public health and economic crises. Last Friday, Mnuchin offered Democrats $400 trillion less than the version they had passed in the House earlier in October. Ro Khanna, a prominent progressive leader, was the first to call on Pelosi to make a deal based on the Trump administration's proposal, though he left the door open to potentially amending certain aspects pushed by the White House. In an interview with CNN on Wednesday afternoon, he also hinted at the possibility of other Democrats coming forward. "A lot of members want a deal," he said. He is simply speaking about the concerns of those in his district who do not have food for their kids, a paycheck to make rent, or the means to keep their restaurant open. It is literally his job to represent them and make sure their voices are being heard, said Khanna's Deputy Chief of Staff Heather Purcell, adding that he respects Pelosi's skill as a negotiator. On Tuesday, Pelosi brushed off Khanna's remarks in a widely circulated interview with the same network. During the segment, host Wolf Blitzer asked pointed questions about why she did not want to accept the offer as it stands, evoking Khanna's name as an example. "Let me just quote Ro Khanna, a man you know well. I assume you admire him. He's a Democrat," Blitzer said. He said people in need can't wait until February. $1.8 trillion is significant and more than twice the Obama stimulus. "Make a deal, put the ball in McConnell's court." What do you think? Will Pelosi's Democratic colleagues convince her to pass a second stimulus bill? Or will she hold out and not pass a second stimulus payment until after the election? Leave your comments down below. President Trump again urged lawmakers to pass a large relief bill, saying in a tweet on Tuesday that Congress should go big or go home. The president has received pushback from Republicans opposed to a large package, and from Democrats who argue that a proposal by the White House does not go far enough. Stimulus. Go big or go home. Trump wrote, just hours after Speaker Nancy Pelosi sent a letter to colleagues accusing the White House of being unacceptable in its negotiations. Pelosi noted that the president had abruptly shut down negotiations between the White House and congressional Democrats last week, then said he only wanted Congress to pass limited standalone bills. Days later, the president started advocating for a large stimulus package. Secretary Mnuchin came back to the negotiating table, and this weekend, the administration issued a proposal that amounted to one step forward, two steps back. In fact, in some instances, it makes matters worse, Pelosi said. "A fly on the wall or wherever else it might land in the Oval Office tells me that the president only wants his name on a check to go out before Election Day and for the market to go up." Pelosi said that the president's attitude is shameful, and that the Trump proposal falls significantly short of what this pandemic and deep recession demand. Democratic House committee chairs released statements over the weekend saying that the White House offer does not do enough with regards to state and local funding for early childhood education, rental assistance and aid for small businesses. In an interview with CNN later on Tuesday, Pelosi accused anchor Wolf Blitzer of being an apologist for Republicans after he asked her why she hadn't worked on finding a deal with the White House. "They do not share our values, have a little respect that we know something about these subjects," Pelosi said. She knocked a tweet from Congressman Ro Khanna urging Pelosi and the White House to come to the table. Blitzer said former Democratic presidential candidate Andrew Yang also said he believed Pelosi and the White House should reach a deal. "Honest to God, I really can't get over it. Because Andrew Yang, he's lovely. Ro Khanna, he's lovely. They're not negotiating this situation," Pelosi said. But why is Speaker Pelosi not taking the advice from her Democratic colleagues? Is it because she is holding out for her political agenda? Feel free to leave your comments down below. White House economic advisor Larry Kudlow said Friday that Trump had approved a revised relief package, although he did not offer specifics. The House passed a $2.4 trillion relief measure last month, but the Senate has refused to consider it. Meanwhile, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell said Tuesday that he would schedule a vote for a GOP relief bill later this month. Senate Republicans proposed a $500 million bill in September, but it was blocked by Democrats, who argued that the bill did not go far enough. In addition, according to Fox News, new polls in key battlegrounds raise concerns for Trump. Michigan, along with Pennsylvania and Wisconsin, had been carried by Democrats in presidential elections for a quarter century before Trump narrowly edged 2016 Democratic nominee Hillary Clinton in all 3 states 4 years ago, helping him win the White House. But as Pence arrived in Michigan, a new public opinion poll indicated Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden as leading Trump 48% among likely voters. 4 years ago, an average of the polls on the eve of the election indicated Clinton with a 3.6-point edge. But Trump ended up carrying the state, and its 16 electoral votes, by just 0.3%. Trump held a slight 2-point edge over Clinton on the eve of the 2016 election in the neighboring battleground of Ohio, but he ended up defeating her by 8%. The state wasn't considered to be in play at the start of the 2020 presidential election cycle, but Ohio's 18 electoral votes are currently very much up for grabs. A Quinnipiac University poll released Wednesday indicated the former vice president at 48% among likely voters and Trump at 47%. Biden's 1-point edge is well within the survey's sampling error, suggesting the race is basically tied. Quinnipiac also released a new poll Wednesday in the relatively new battleground state of Georgia, indicating the former vice president leading Trump by 51%. In a conference call on Monday with reporters, the Trump campaign downplayed the current public opinion surveys and spotlighted their own internal polling. "The enthusiasm in the states are very real," senior advisor Corey Lewandowski said. "We feel very good with our polling numbers." But what do you think? Do the current polls truly determine the election? And will Trump or Biden be the next president of the United States? Leave your comments down below. As always, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to my channel and click the bell. Thanks for your support.